Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the INT Super Saiyan Vegeta GT and how good he is in DBZ Dokkan Battle. Now, Vegeta is a GT Heroes or Vegeta's family lead of 170%. He greatly raises attack and defense for one turn on a super attack while massively lowering the defense of the opposition. And in terms of his passive, he has attack and defense of 250%. Randomly creates rainbow key spheres. When attacking with 12 or more key, has attack of 20%, defense of 30%, and damage reduction of 3% per key sphere obtained. With 3 or more key spheres, he'll have guard. With 5 or more key spheres, he'll launch an additional super attack. Per GT Heroes or Giant Ape Power category ally attacking in the same turn, he gets attack of 77% up and a chance of performing a critical hit of 30%. For one turn from his entry, he has a guaranteed additional. When activating the active skill, he has attack of 350% up temporarily. In terms of active skill, he has massively raising attack based on his active skill, and that's really about it. It can be activated after 4 or more supers. Golden Warrior, Prodigies, Super Saiyans, Royal Lineage, GT, Prepared for Battle, and Fierce Battle are his link sets, and he's on quite a few teams, Spawn the Parent and Child, Earth Protecting Heroes, and GT Heroes being his main ones with Giant Ape Power. The big thing with Vegeta, before we get into his stats, which are pretty good, my Vegeta has 2 dupes. I see him hit for around 21 or so million with level 10 links, and generally he's quite consistent. Orbs wise, he'll get anywhere between around about 10, 9, I'd say 8 to 11 orbs, and generally speaking his defense sits at around 1.3 million or so before factoring in the raising from his supers. So you end up with almost 2 million defense, damage reduction, and guard, so he is quite tanky. There are a couple of caveats to that. So firstly, it only kicks in when he's attacking, which isn't always so great, because it does obviously put limitations on where he can be positionally. He is a great second slot unit, so there are a couple of things that he does really well, especially on the Giant Ape Power team. Giant Ape Power has Tech Vegeta, who's an amazing first start tank. We then have the physical SS4s, who can act as a first start tank. We then have the AGL Super Saiyan 4 Goku, who you probably want to run in the second slot, on both rotations. So immediately you kind of have the first 2 positions already kind of sorted out for your team. There's not too much maneuverability there. Where Vegeta helps and where Goku helps is a lot in the orb changing. The SS4 Gogeta depends a ton on rainbow orbs, so having 2 rainbow orb changes on the team is huge for him, essentially guaranteeing him his best performance. And secondly as well, gives them reliable third slot units. Vegeta is a reliable third slot unit, Goku is a reliable third slot unit. It's all really quite good from that perspective. They can also switch to second slot, should you really need them to, obviously based on the fact that, you know, your Goku or your Gogeta duo and everything, you know, they are more your slot 1s, your Vegeta, your Gogeta. So he's a quite flexible slot 2, slot 3, which really is what the team needs. Like I said, they've got a great slot 1, they've got a great alt slot 1 in the form of the SS4 Gogeta. So it doesn't, yeah, they don't need to have like outright first start tank. Although Vegeta is really quite good, like he can be quite tanky, all that damage reduction, all that guard, all of that stuff that he brings to the table is really, really strong and is really, really helpful. So it's not like it doesn't have any value. Overall, what I would say is for Vegeta, in terms of his hidden potential build, and I'll talk about it obviously when we talk about how he gets skill orbs, but he's definitely an additional, maybe even an evasion style unit. He doesn't need to be hit for anything, and having additional would allow him to access at least 3 supers per turn, which obviously is pretty good. But also evasion will help him in those situations, especially where maybe you want to use him as a first slot tank, but you obviously have the implications that the boss might super you before he's able to really kind of kick off. So yeah, there is that kind of like very how can I say, very limiting factor on this defense, I think. So for the most part, I would say that's kind of where, you know, you might find them struggling a bit. So for me, I think personally, overall, Vegeta looks really, really, really solid. I wouldn't say he is like as good as I really think he could have been. I think they could have added in some very specific support, like maybe GT Heroes or Giant Ape Power. I assume they're a little bit scared of giving them Giant Ape Power support because it would have obviously added quite a bit of boost towards any potential Daima units that they bring out. So I do understand that that's a possibility, but I do think that they, look, overall I think he's really good. I think only thing I will say is the Rainbow Orbs do kind of prevent him from really like hitting huge nuking heights. When you look at Vegeta, you look at how everything works, it doesn't really work too well for him hitting like the heights of like those big nuking attack stats, It isn't like the best functionality. So definitely for me, I would say from like the perspective of Vegeta, I would definitely say that he, for the most part, does have that limitation. He makes so many Rainbow Orbs, especially alongside Goku, that they just can't hit like those true nuking capability heights. But still, Vegeta is a great unit. Very good damage and a nice rounder to the Giant Ape Power team. Is he out of control good? I don't think so. Is he really, really good and just what the team needed? Yes. So for me, he makes Giant Ape Power alongside Goku very usable. They're both incredibly reliable. Like I said, those orbs are very consistent and the performance is very consistent. I think that's my key word for them. They are a very consistent duo of units. Overall, really good and really good for the team.